Dave Parody here with another slide makeover video podcast based on the ideas in my book, The Visual Slide Revolution. Today's slide's an interesting one because a colleague sent me a link to a video and they said, Dave, they're using some of your statistics in this video and I'm not sure it's being accurately portrayed or really the best. Take a look at it. So I did, and here's what I saw. This is a slide that they put up in this video saying an example of a poorly designed PowerPoint slide because it's all bullet points. And they are correct, it is poorly designed. And it has the statistics from one of my surveys. The thing though, you got to realize this is not my slide. I did not create this slide. Somebody just simply pulled some statistics off of an old survey that I did and formatted it this way. I don't present my statistics of my survey in this way. And I'll show you later on how I actually present this information. So anyways, they presented this as a poorly designed slide. I agree. And then they said, here is a much better designed slide. They purchased a photograph from stock photography, added some text boxes in, and said this is a much better designed slide because it's visual. Now it is visual, but I don't agree that it's a well-designed slide. A couple of really big problems for me here. First of all, that red wedge, it says 62%. That wedge is not in proportion to the amount. You'll notice that it's the same size as all the other wedges. Well, if it's supposed to be the largest, why doesn't it look the largest? Beyond that, though, the bigger issue is that you should never use a pie chart to represent this type of survey results. A pie chart needs to represent 100% or a whole of something, and you divide it based on that whole. In this survey, I allow people to select the top 3 out of a list of 10. So when you add up the percentages, even the ones you see on the screen here, it's way more than 100%. Now, these two problems cause your audience to get very confused as to what this visual means because it is not consistent with the text that they're seeing. And anytime you do that, research tells us understanding and comprehension goes down. So even though this is technically a more visual slide, it's a poorly designed visual and in fact will cause more confusion than anything else. So let me show you how I actually present the results of the survey in my workshops. So here's my actual workshop slide. I'm going to deliver it like I do in my workshop. Right now, folks, I believe we have an epidemic of overloaded text slides going on. I do surveys and I ask people, rank for me what you think are the top 3 things that annoy you about bad PowerPoint presentations. I give them a list of 10 and I say, pick your top 3. Last time I did the survey, over 600 people responded. And over 50% of those people said that they see more than 100 presentations a year. So I trust their judgment. And what they told me is this: the number one thing that annoys them about bad PowerPoint presentations, in fact, over 2/3 of the people said it was in their top 3, is when the speaker stands there and reads the slides to us. Even worse, when the speaker stands there with their back to the audience and reads the slides to us. What else annoys people about bad PowerPoint presentations? Well, the second most popular answer is that the speaker used full sentences on their slides instead of bullet points. I actually think this leads to reading. Because when we see a full sentence, what do we tend to naturally want to do? We want to read it. And if it happens to be on our slide, then we end up reading it to the audience. The third most annoying thing about bad PowerPoint presentations, the micro printing, the text that is so small. And 3 clients have set the record for me for smallest font used on a slide. 5 point. Yeah, folks, I can't make this up. These are slides that were actually given to me for makeovers in some of my workshops. 5 point. For the first time in doing this survey, the top 3 all relate to text. And that's why I believe I can conclude that there is an epidemic of overloaded text slides going on. See, that's how I present the information. I present the slide. That's the proper way to show survey results using a bar chart. So what are the lessons we can learn when you are presenting the results of a survey where multiple options can be chosen? First of all, of the options, you might have 20, 30 options, but when you're reporting, limit it to 6 or 7. Now that might mean you have to group some things together, related answers get grouped together, so you're only presenting 6 or 7, because if you got all 20 or 30 on the slide, it's just impossible. The visual you're going to use, or you should use, is a bar chart, as I did on the slide that you saw. That is the correct visual for showing survey results. And you can imagine why I'm saying only 6 or 7, because if you had 20 or 30 bars, and I've seen that done, it's impossible to tell what's going on. Make sure the proportions of each of those bars are accurate, meaning that they always start at 0, so that if one bar looks half the length of another, it is indeed half as popular, not skewing the results by changing the axis of the graph. And finally, if you need to, as I did, include some text with the bar chart to give the audience proper context. I gave them context about what is it that I'm asking, how many people have responded, so they get a sense of where this is coming from, how this is being done. When you're delivering survey results, that's the proper way to do it. For more information on the book, go to www.visualsliderevolution.com. For more information on my training workshops, consulting, and other resources, go to www.thinkoutsidetheslide.com. This is Dave Parody with another Slide Makeover video podcast.